Book Dragons! I am here to do a mid-month wrap-up, and I want to get this done because I don't know what I'm going to read in the second half of the month. I'm also heading into a bit of an insane end of the month because a lot of stuff is kind of up in the air about a railroad strike and stuff like that, so keep your fingers crossed that it all goes according to plan. It probably won't, but that is the hope. So let's do my stats. I read 7 things in the month of, in the first 2 weeks of September. I'm filming this a day early, but I'll probably finish technically one more book, but I'll just talk about it in the latter half. So I read 7 things for an average pages of 2,338, so much less than I read in the summer months. Let me just go back and see. Yeah, in August, well, this is only half of the month. So in June, I read 4,000. So yeah, back on my stats. But definitely read a lot less, which is obvious because we're heading back to school. A lot of stuff we're changing. I read 77 pages per day on average. My average page count was 334. I definitely do read smaller books during the school year, especially during the week. My most read genre was mystery. I have 2 books with rep, 6 from authors I read before, and I have hauled 0 books yet. And then I had 3 5-stars, 3 4-stars, 1 3.5 star for an average rating of 4.36. I read 6 new releases, 0 backlist, 1 from last year. I read 3 physical, 4 audio. Sometimes my stats don't match how I read it, but that's the stats I chose in the moment. And then I started 1 series, I continued in 1, and I read 5 standalones. I read 1 middle grade, 2 YA, and 4 adult. I read 1 ARC, 2 from Audible, 2 from the library, 2 owned, and 0 from Everhand. And then I read 3 mystery, 2 romance, 1 contemporary, and 1 fantasy or fanrow. So yeah, let's get into the books, and I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet and to the point. So yes, I have been participating in 3 readathons. I've been participating in Aurelium, which has been my focus the past couple of weeks because it's the easiest one to finish, and then I have been participating in Mystic and then Rebellionathon with Mel. So the first book I read in the first week of school was Death in the Cards by Mia P. Masala. I will have attached a photo here. This was a fall-themed book for my Aurelium TBR. It was also a book that worked for Battleathon, and it also worked for the other thing that but I can't remember the prompt. But this is a cozy murder mystery or like disappearance. Oh, sorry, I know what it was because a character went missing, and that's why I could count it for Mystic. But basically her mom is a private eye and she kind of wants to work with her mom, but she also just, sorry, my memory card filled up, so I don't know where I left off. But basically her mom is a private eye. She also wants to be a private eye, but she also works with tarot cards, so that's kind of how she got involved. And the case involved someone in her school. Their sister has gone missing, so she's kind of helping out with that. It was very, very fun. It was very, very quick. I felt like it was a great like going back to school read. That is when I normally read mysteries and thrillers because they're a little bit quicker paced. But yeah, I had a fun time. I gave it 4 stars. I really hope we get more books set in this world. The ending led that up. It also had an interest romantic entanglement, which I did really like. And I like that we had some case file elements to the story. It was super fun and I gave it 4 stars. And the next book I read was Made for Each Other by Lyd Painter. I will attach a photo of that one here. I gave this book 4 stars. It's it's basically like a Maid in Manhattan retelling, and you have this main character who is kind of working as a maid, and she can't stay in her apartment because there's an incident, so she winds up spending the night in the guy she's cleaning apartment without his permission, and his parents come in, see her, and he has been telling everyone that he's dating a girl named Abby to kind of get everyone off his back, and her name is Abby, so his parents automatically assume that she is the Abby. And he's threatening to get her in trouble, but then they decide to like fake date to help each other. And it was just very, very fun. I really, really liked it. It was like a 4.5 star book. It was very, very low steam, but it was fun. I love Maid in Manhattan. That's one of my favorite movies. So it was just fun. It was a quirky read. And I read it while I was like, oh wait, did I forget one? I did. I totally forgot a book. Oh no. Okay, I have to add that. I also read The Love Haters by Catherine Center. Did I not talk about that? Oh no. Oh no, I did. I did that last month. Sorry. I remembered I was listening it to it at work. That was why it like clicked into my brain. Sorry, no. I already talked about Love Haters because I read that in August. But I read it when I was at work. That's why it clicked in my brain. But this one was just very, very fun. It was very, very cute. It was fun. I really hope I like Lynn Painter. Lynn Painter doesn't often write interconnected stories. They're often all standalones. But I really like this one. I gave it 4 stars, and I really hope we get more books set in this world because I really did like all the side characters. And then the next book I read was my book that I struggled with a little bit. This was for a Aurelian prompt. I had to read a book with a technology on the cover. So I picked up For the Record by Emma Lord. I will attach a photo of that here. This is Emma Lord's newest adult book, and I read her breakup pact over the summer and loved it. I think this was a wrong place, wrong focus time for me. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I really liked it. It's like a second chance romance. These 2 characters were in competing bands back in the day. And then he kind of left because he found out he had a kid and he wanted to be there for the kid. And they're both kind of trying to rebuild their career back together. And they're kind of forced to work together and maybe team up, and they don't like each other. And I really did like this story. The end, I think, was a lot stronger. That's why I gave it 4.5 stars. I felt a little bit disconnected to the characters at the first half of the story, but I really did like this book. I just didn't feel as connected to the characters as I did in the breakup pact, but I love Emma Lord. I think she writes second chance stories so well. Give this book 4.5 stars, and I really need to catch up on her YA books because I am a little bit behind. So yeah, that one was a 4.5 star read, and that was another Aurelian book down. And then the next book I read was Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the latest book in the Inheritance Game series, or the new series that this one's called. It's like the sequel series. I really like this book. I gave this book 5 stars. I, again, think that these are very, very fast-paced stories, but I will say this, as I say with all of Jennifer Lynn Barnes' series, her writing works best when you read the stories back to back. Having them a year apart is just harder for me, so I think before Gilded Edge comes out, I'm gonna have to re-listen to all of these books. But I really did like this story. The ending did not go where I expected. It was a fun read, very, very quick. It has super short chapters, which make my commuting life so much easier. You learn a lot more about Grayson in the story. And yeah, I don't want to say too much because it is a sequel, but I'm really excited for Gilded Edge when it comes out in August. And we're getting a prequel book in November, which I'm also super excited for. So yeah, definitely a new favorite, and I gave this book 5 stars. And then I picked up A Body in the Library by Ellie Alexandra. I think that this was a book that had to have, for Mystic, I think it had to have Darling on the cover. So I have caught up on Ellie Alexandra's Meet Your Baker series. The new book is out, but there isn't an audio, and I'm going to wait a couple of months to see if we get an audio. And if we don't get an audio, I'll just read it physically. But I like to listen to her books quite a bit, so I'm waiting to see if we're going to get it. This is a new series. It's new to me. But it's set in a bookstore, and this person wants to kind of make her bookstore more popular and kind of increase traffic flow. So she sets up a book festival, and a lot of people from her past come. This book is also interesting because the main character is involved in the true crime world because she was going to be a detective. She went to school for criminal science. She was working on a cold case and trying to solve one with her best friend, and her best friend was murdered by that cold case. And she feels a lot of guilt about that. So I really do like that avenue for a cozy. I've never really read that before, where the main character does have a criminal background or a law enforcement background. I really did like that. This book I gave 5 stars. It was a great early start to the series. It was very, very book focused. But as I'll talk about in my next wrap up, when I read a book about books, it needs to have something pushing my story forward. It needs to have a romance or a mystery. This one definitely has both. I didn't see the mystery coming, and I really had a fun time with it. So that's why this book got 5 stars. And then I picked up Dream by Barbara O'Connor, and I'm going to be real honest, this book just had a sun on the cover and I needed it for Aurelium, so that's why I picked this book up. So I will attach a photo of that one here. This This one I got from the Libro FM program because I'm a teacher and an educator, and it was just a really, really quick audiobook. I listened to this on Thursday, and it's just a quick contemporary book about a young girl that really wants to be a songwriter. There's a song contest that's in her little town or on the radio, and she kind of teams up with her best friends to find money that she believes is hidden in her lodging to kind of get money to enter this contest. And it was very, very cute. I don't really think I felt that connected to the characters, but I think it was a very, very cute middle grade, and I gave that book 3.75 stars. And then the last book I read physically for this part of the month was A Witch's Guide to Magical Ink Copying by Sagno Madonna, and I gave this book 5 stars. I am really getting into my fall vibes reads. This one was just super cute. I had a really, really fun time with it. Basically, you follow a main character named Sierra, and she was very, very powerful back in the day, and then one day her aunt drops dead, and she has a little fox that talks living in the house with her, and they decide to bring her back to life, but she loses all her magic, and she's basically ostracized from society, so she kind of takes up this house, and it's basically a safe haven for all of these people, and she winds up staying there. And then 15 years later, she kind of gets into her head that she wants to kind of bring back her magic and find the elements to make a curse, like basically do a spell to get her magic back. And it's a very, very cozy read. There is a romance in here. There is a main character that is a library person. He works at the library. He works at the thing that basically ostracized her from society. And he has an autistic young sister, which I think was so well done. And I just love this book. There's a lot of side characters, very, very found family focused. Really great early fall read, and I really, really like this book. I gave this book 5 stars. So yeah, those are the 7 books I read in the first half of September. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite book? My favorite 2 physical books are definitely these 2. I really like them both. I gave them both 5 stars. And then my favorite audiobook is probably A Body in the Bookstore by Ellie Alexander. So let me know in the comments, what is your favorite books of the month so far? I would love to know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends.